Hello there, Maulin. Alright, thanks for your kind words. Let's just have a look. So, the issue of technological adaptation the issues. You're right. I'm wrong. The issues of technological adaptation have grown in importance since the advent of the technological revolution. Very good. Repetition. How would we improve this essay taking into account repetition? Well, industrial revolution, digital revolution, gadget revolution. You see, and then we just avoid saying the same thing twice. Technology has enormous benefits for the human life, not the human life. Yet there are several drawbacks such as excessive dependence, which could lead to a decline of man's cognitive abilities. Good. So we need to put the which here, okay? Because or a demonstrative pronoun, because excessive dependence belongs to this part of the sentence, yet there are several drawbacks such as excessive dependence, comma, this could lead to a decline of man's cognitive abilities. So what I'm saying here is that could needs a subject. If we have excessive dependence could lead, that's fine, but excessive dependence belongs to the example of such as, and we can't use it for both the example of such as or for the subject of could. So we put a comma and then we say this could lead to a decline. Okay? I strongly believe that human beings should adapt to new technologies, but at the same time should use these in a reasonable way so it not affect humans' intelligence. Perfect. On the one hand, with the booming industrialization, people should adapt to the technology, and there is no way that technology can adapt to every single head on the planet. Okay, this is because that since the technology has revolutionized the entire society, it is hard to survive for people who cannot use. Okay, it's hard to survive for people who cannot get used to new technologies. Okay, right. So let's see. Paragraph 1. Should humans adapt to technology or should it adapt to us? Humans should adapt to technology, seems your argument. Paragraph 2. Is it making us weaker or more intelligent? Paragraph 2. Okay, so we're not really looking at both sides of the argument, alright? So it's not the best use of this phrase on the one hand, on the other hand, because that's to look at one argument from two different points of view. So something like firstly or secondly is probably more appropriate. So let's see. Also, let's just rephrase this for clarity. Okay? That's why I was struggling through it. It is hard to survive for people. Subject, verb, object. Who's the subject? People. So, this is because that since technology has revolutionized the entire society, comma, it is often hard for people to survive who cannot get used to new technologies. Full stop. New technologies are being introduced in every single aspect of life. Okay, for instance, Silicon Valley has predicted that 87% of the day-to-day activities will be replaced by one or more technological instruments by 2040. Thus, it is clear that getting used to advanced technology makes life effortless. No. Okay, so good vocabulary. Okay, example. You're on the right track. So this is what I'm. So let's see. So you're saying it's hard. I've read it, but I still don't know if technology should adapt to us or we should adapt to technology, and that's the question, really. Okay. So this Okay, so I guess with this sentence you're saying that it's hard for people to survive unless they adapt to technology. So why don't we extend on this and build on this? Yeah, and just say, um, for example, and then just talk about the advantages of, or give me an example that shows the advantages of adapting to technology. Okay, so that would need to be rephrased. On the other side, on the other hand, it should be, but secondly, even if technology has made life complexity simpler than ever, excess use will make intellectual skills weaker, will undoubtedly make intellectual skills weaker. Okay, this is due to the fact that with the over-reliance on technological trivial instruments, people often cannot complete the simple task without it. People cannot complete simple tasks without it. Nowadays, many people cannot even able, no, nowadays, many people cannot even do, okay, simple calculations without the use of a calculator. For example, recent studies done by the British Psychological Society in selected British schools showed that after introducing computers in every subject, students have shown around 10% decline in their IQ. Fine. Therefore, an over-reliance on technology could lower the level of mental abilities. Fine. That's much better. It's on topic, it's clearer, it's simpler to understand. We didn't go for overly complex sentences and the vocabulary is fantastic, just like in this one. So go for a more basic argument that can be eloquently expressed rather than a trickier argument, okay? So let's see. In conclusion, although technology has significant advantages in everyday life, there is a greater risk regarding basic abilities. Good. It is recommended that the government should weigh the pros and cons of implicating modern technologies in education before deciding to do so. Not too bad, but you focused on government introducing technology in schools for your conclusion, and that's not really the case. We should be saying something like, it is recommended that um, governments evaluate the use of technology regarding the intellect of society. Okay, and just make it really general, because that's what the question is about. It's saying, is it making us weaker or stronger intellectually? So put the conclusion to this, okay, or mention this in the conclusion. So just bear that in mind for your next essay. Let's go. The bar graph shows, the bar graph displays how many travellers will visit 4 different cities from Mexico, Canada and the USA in 2018. Good. In 2018, most of the US is... Okay, so we've just mentioned 2018, and mentioning it again is not necessary. However, we can start with American citizens. Okay, straight to the point. We know we're in 2018. So, or even better, most American citizens will visit Paris, and this number will be 100,000. Okay, London will have 20,000 fewer American visitors than Paris. Madrid and Istanbul will have 70,000 and 60,000 American tourists, respectively. Good. So here we've got kind of a good opportunity just to bunch all of these together. Okay, and grouping information is fine. In fact, it's actually encouraged and rewarded. Okay, so well done for saying 20,000 less. And perhaps we could have just even grouped these together, or definitely grouped those together because they're practically the same. Okay, so just look for opportunities in academic task 1 for grouping information. But well done for using the 20,000 less. That's great. Istanbul will have 70,000 and 20,000. Sorry, and 20,000 tourists from Canada and Mexico, respectively. Good. So we've already used respectively. We don't have to use it again. Okay. Madrid will encounter the most Mexican visitors, and this number will be more than 60,000, which will be more than Canadian travellers. Okay. Okay, so be careful. You're saying it's more than Canadian travellers. Put the figure in there at 40,000 or whatever it is. Okay? There are 95,000 Canadians will visit London and Paris combined. Okay. London will have 4 times fewer tourists from Mexico than the USA at 20,000. Okay. So London will have 4 times fewer tourists at 20,000 from Mexico than the USA at 50,000. Okay. So on the one hand, I don't want you to go through lists, but on the other, sometimes we do need to mention the figures to make it clear what we're saying, okay? To make it clear which numbers we're actually dealing with, because we've got no numbers here. And here we should write the number 4, F-O-U-R. Finally, more than 20,000 Mexicans will visit Paris in 2018. Okay, good work there. Overall, it can be seen that most of the cities overall it can be seen that that the highest amount of visitors will come from America. It is predicted that Istanbul will have the most number of tourists from Canada, while Madrid will have the most Mexican travellers. Very good summary there. Very good. Pulled it back. Excellent. So yeah, we've used the superlatives, that's fantastic. We've used respectively, good. We could have grouped the information, and well done for using the fancy sentence here. Okay, just make sure that we're not using it on purpose and that we are, just make sure that the information is still understandable and is still useful. And we can do that just by putting in the figure here. Okay, so great work, Maulin. Let's carry on improving. Let's see. Okay, so you want a grade for your work? I'd say it's about a 6.5 at the moment. Okay. Other examiners might grade it differently. I would, put it at 6.5. And the reason is basically the grammar. We need to work on the grammar. And I'll give you a link related to close tests that will help out with that. Okay. Now, capital letters. Yeah, for those exams that you mentioned, you asked about, write it, put a capital letter if it's a proper noun, okay, or if you're starting a sentence. So I would just go for normal handwriting, but make sure it's clear, okay, and then just use the same concepts as when you're writing normally, okay. So like here we've put a capital letter because it's the start, okay. So if the answer is swimming, just put a capital S and then write swimming, okay. More tips for improving. Well, all my advice is in the course, which you've watched, and you've watched thoroughly, I can see, because your writing has improved dramatically. More tips, I would say more writing. Get as much practice and feedback as possible. I think that's the best way forward, really. You know you're improving. Let's just keep on this track of improving. All right, Maulin, have a good day, and let's keep on writing.